here are 3 reasons why I'm still buying AIOZ. Reason number 1 is because despite how much AIOZ has pumped, which I predicted, by the way, I still believe there's hypothetical room for growth because $20, that's still my price target for this bull run, even though that's not financial advice. But here's the thing. If let's say AIOZ were to go to the price of $20, that right there is around a 17x from here. Now, hypothetically, some people may think this is kind of caca, but if I were to put some perspective into this, let's say I were to put $1,000 into AIOZ right now, and let's say, again, AIOZ were to go to the price of $20, at that point, that $1,000 would hypothetically become 17. So again, it's not the best upside out there. It's nowhere close to even $100,000, let alone like even $1 million or whatever, but still, a 17x, I don't think is that caca. And when I consider how much, again, AIOZ has pumped, doing an additional, let's say 17x from where it is right now, it doesn't seem so bad in my opinion. Now, some people may think that, okay, $20, that's too much though. But I disagree with that because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $23 billion. I mean, when we're taking a look at a project that's primarily focused on AI, one of the most premier ones out there, is this really too much to ask for? I don't think so. Around a $23 billion market cap, keep in mind, that's so low in the grand scheme of things. Take a look at Shiba Inu reaching around 40 billion, Dogecoin reaching over 80 billion, BNB reaching over 100 billion. This doesn't seem too bad, at least that's the way to take a look at it. Now again, AIOZ isn't some sort of micro cap where it can do like a 1000x, but I'm not looking for that either. I'm not looking for a dinosaur too though, because, I'm not looking to get into like a Bitcoin or like an Ethereum, like a Solana or like a BNB where it can't do, over a 17x from here. But at the same time, I'm not looking for a 1000x either, because even though that'd be great, the risk is very high when it comes to these like small cap, like, or should I say like these micro cap, like meme coins. So then what's a good balance in between? Not Bitcoin, not like some random micro cap, but it's something like AIOZ. At least that's the way to take a look at it. Now, some people may argue that, okay, AIOZ is cool, it's interesting, but without good fundamentals, it's not really going to go anywhere, which is why this actually brings me to my second point as to why I'm still buying AIOZ, is because I think that the AIOZ network is really one of a kind. I think it's amazing because we got to think about this, right? The AIOZ network is a decentralized physical infrastructure network for Web3, AI, storage, and as well as streaming. Now, you may be thinking, okay, we all know that AI is going to be massive because hypothetically it is. According to Grandview Research, the AI market is predicted to be worth nearly $2 trillion by 2030. I mean, we all know that, right? Hypothetically. But then what is something that's often overlooked? Streaming and as well as storage, because let's face it, when it comes to storage, it is crucial, in my opinion, to have decentralization when it comes to that, just generally speaking, because if you take a look at it, a lot of data storage nowadays, it's usually very centralized. Nothing necessarily wrong with that because it's worked, so far, and I think it's still going to work in the future, but there's always something better, and that is decentralization, because typically centralized data storage is usually controlled by a single entity, typically has these multiple single points of failures. So what is a way to, quite essentially, change that? That is through decentralization, which is why I like it so much. Now, people may be thinking, okay, it's going to take years for this to happen. I totally understand that, but at least it's the thought that counts, and it showcases the forward-thinking mindset that something like AIOZ has. After all, the data storage market is predicted to be worth nearly $800 billion by 2030, according to Fortune Business Insight. So it's not like it's some random joke of a market, you know what I mean? A lot of people out there, they're focused on like the NFT market, but the NFT market by 2030 is only predicted to be worth, slightly over $200 billion. According to Grandview Research, and again, this by 2030. So if you think about it, data storage, there's a lot of potential there, hypothetically. So when I take a look at AIOZ, again, they have the right mindset. And not to mention as well, if you take a look at streaming, if you take a look at it again, right, the video streaming market size by 2030 is expected to be worth over $400 billion, yet again, according to Grandview Research. So yeah, that's massive right there. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. Now, while I've kind of like bashed a little bit when it comes to NFTs, I still do believe that, again, a market that is worth, hypothetically predicted to, over $200 billion by 2030 isn't so bad. And AIOZ, to a certain extent, is focused on it, I would assume, because, even though it's not their primary focus, they do have a slight focus on this, which is why I think this could be, somewhat of a good addition. Why not, right? Having more markets that they're focused on doesn't seem too caca. At least that's the way I view it. Now, here's the thing. When I take a look at AIOZ, they are partners currently with NVIDIA. We all know how massive NVIDIA is, right? I mean, that is insanely massive. Also, take a look at Alibaba Cloud, Google for startups, and even Qualcomm as well. I mean, Qualcomm is massive. So when I take a look at all of this right here is very impressive because, if they were so caca, let's say AIOZ was so bad, right? Would it be able to have partnerships like this? I don't think so. I mean, caralho, porra. I mean, this right here is very amazing, and I think it just really puts a lot of projects out there to shame because a lot of other projects out there, we don't even really know what they're focused on. But AIOZ, it's so easy, right? It's so easy to know what they're focused on. Again, primarily focused on Web3 AI, streaming, storage. That's so simple to understand. That's just the way to take a look at it. It's even more difficult, in my opinion, like memorizing like a bunch of random, like, let's say like some people, for instance, right? They have a hard time memorizing like a phone number or something like that. But this one just seems like it's even easier than that. At least that's the way I take a look at it. I don't think memorizing phone numbers are difficult, but still, that's just an analogy. That's the way to take a look at it. Now, here's the thing as well. The third and final reason why I'm still buying AIOZ is because, as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. If you actually take a look at something, like Bitcoin, Charles Hoskinson, who, by the way, is not only the co-founder of Ethereum, but he's the founder of Cardano, on November 26th, he was a part of a video, and he said that in the next 1 to 2 years, right? So in the next 12 to 24 months, basically, he could very well see, Bitcoin reaching the price of either $250,000, which is basically, well, it is $250,000, all the way up to $500,000, aka $500,000. Could you imagine that? If, let's say, Bitcoin never reaches like $500,000 in the next year to 2 years, which is very unrealistic in my opinion, but you know what? You aim for the moon, you land somewhere along the stars, I guess. But let's say we use like the worst case example. Let's say like, Bitcoin goes to the price of $250,000. Even at that point, AIOZ at the price of $20 really wouldn't seem that crazy at all. At least that's the way I take a look at it because, again, a high tide raises all ships. If the sentiment is amazing, if Bitcoin is doing very well, I don't see why something like AIOZ won't go along with the ride. Now, is AIOZ going to be the only one that goes along with the ride? No, there's going to be many, in my opinion, many altcoins, right? But it's just a matter of time. That's why I'm staying patient, I'm staying consistent, and I'm not giving up when it comes to AIOZ because, yeah, sure, is it going to be the best performing thing out there? No. Has it been the best performing project so far? Absolutely not. Is it the most interesting? Is it the coolest? Is it the most fun project? I would say no to all of that. But does it really matter? No, because even though I do have a place for meme coins and fun projects like that, I do need something like AIOZ, in my opinion, as part of my foundational pieces, or should I say as one of my foundational pieces in my portfolio, because I need something like this. I need something that's, pretty good when it comes to its exposure, but at the same time, rock solid fundamentals. Sometimes there's a niche for stuff like this. And I think that, again, AIOZ has done hypothetically pretty well, much like I predicted, but I think better days are ahead. And again, $20 during this bull run, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. It's just a waiting game, but I think 2025 could very well be the time to shine. But again, as of right now, I'm going to continue to accumulate more and hold. I haven't sold any AIOZ because I still believe in its future, and $20 is still my price target for this bull run, hypothetically speaking. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Monly the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.